All right, Flynn. First of all, this is my first time interviewing you. I'm glad to have this opportunity. We're talking about flying cars in North Carolina. I literally just did 2 interviews last week about how bad intersections are and people driving, and now we're talking about flying cars, and I could wonder how North Carolina drivers are going to operate with that. So first of all, tell me, how did you get to the story? What's going on here?
So there is a woman from Delaware named Heather Shurtia. She says she's the first consumer to own a flying car in America. She reached out to our newsroom. She's on this cross-country tour with this aircraft right now, and she's going to all these expos and different car shows and automotive shows. And so she brought her flying car here to North Carolina. They were in Northampton County at the Center for Automotive Research. It has this big test track and field, and they essentially flew this car around for a bunch of, enthusiasts, YouTube vloggers, social media influencers to just kind of show off what she says is possible in the coming years in the skies.
Okay, so was Mr. Beast there? No.
He was not.
Oh, he was not there?
No, he's on the next stop of the tour.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I find this fascinating. My first question is Geico Insurance insuring this thing? What's going on here?
Yeah, so not yet. Insurance does not cover, things like this currently. And she said that's one of the steps in order to get this more mainstream. One of the things that kind of has to catch up to the technology is the insurance, and how do you protect people, who are operating one of these, while they're in the sky.
So for sure. And before we started recording, my very first concern is government shutdown's done. Air traffic controllers, we only have so many of them, and it's such a volatile industry right now. Are we going to need more air traffic controllers to basically build an air highway going through North Carolina or Raleigh per se, as we start small and work their way up?
Yeah, so Shurtia says that eventually the regulations will need to catch up with the technology. More space in the air, more air highways, so to speak, we need to open up to allow these ultralight aircraft to fly once they are capable of flying longer ranges, higher speeds, things like that. Right now, the technology, this particular aircraft that we saw yesterday, can really only go about 25 miles on one charge. It's got a pretty short range compared to most electric vehicles that are on the road now. It can top speeds of only about 62 miles an hour, and there are a lot of regulations about when and where you can fly this thing. So you can only fly in the daylight in good weather. We had perfect weather yesterday, although it was a little bit windy, but it was clear, sunny. You could see visibility was good. And then you also can't fly over congested areas, population centers. They have to be flown in urban area or rural areas only, so think about large fields, farms, things like that are perfect for something like this. So the rules heavily restrict usage right now, and that's something that the owner of this aircraft says really needs to catch up before something like this can become more mainstream.
Oh, wow. So first of all, if you're watching this video and you want more content like this, like, subscribe, and follow for more. And the tags, first of all, I'm going to put in the cards. I'm going to pick Flynn's story from this yesterday. If you guys want more details on this, it's a really fascinating story, and I have so many questions. So basically, we're going to treat flying cars like that convertible.
Yeah.
It's a nice day. I'm going to pull out the flying car. Let's go for a spin. And over rural areas, so I can imagine farmers and things like that. It sounds like a nice little date spot.
Yeah, it could be a good little adventure opportunity. The operator, he didn't call himself a pilot, but the operator of this aircraft yesterday, his name was Tim Lum. He is from a very remote area in Washington State, and he says that his driveway is several miles long, so he uses this aircraft to essentially leave from his yard. The aircraft can take off and land vertically, doesn't require a lot of space to do so. Uses this aircraft to go fly down to the end of his garage, get his mail, maybe go run an errand down the street, and then come on back. So it's, he kind of uses it as a quicker way of getting around than a car. Just a really interesting application for this aircraft there.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. Do you think, and this is an opinionated question, do you think flying aircrafts are going to have a stronger hold on America, or do you think EVs, with the jumpstart that they have, are going to take it to the American economy?
Well, Shurtia says, as the technology ramps up in production and, is made more often, that it could be more accessible to a consumer. Right now, it costs about $190,000 to get one. So not totally out of the realm of possibilities, but not for your everyday American who can afford something like this. So production, she says, really needs to ramp up, and the regulations really need to catch up to help bring the price down, to help get, more people into the aircrafts like this. But right now, I mean, you wouldn't be able to fly this thing over Raleigh per se right now. It's a very dense populated area. So many of us here who live close to city centers, this would just be out of the picture for us right now. But in 10, 20 years, who knows?
You know what? If you're in Clayton or any of the surrounding rural areas going out of Johnston County, you can get one if you have $190,000.
Yeah. So, what is crazy, too, is this fits into a certain FAA classification of like an ultralight aircraft that does not require a pilot's license to fly.
Okay.
Shartia does have a pilot's license, so, this was a little bit more intuitive for her, but, you don't need a pilot's license to fly it. It only requires about a couple days of training just to show that you can maneuver it properly, that you have what Shartia called manual dexterity to operate this. And I actually got to sit in the aircraft yesterday, and the controls were like a video game. You have a tablet in front of you that gives you, data points as you're flying, geographic data, and then you have two joysticks on either side that help you maneuver the aircraft. There are several engines on board that help, fly this thing. And I talked with Lum, the operator, yesterday, and I asked him, do you ever get scared flying one of these? And he says, no, there are a ton of redundancy, systems on board to, help mitigate potentially catastrophic events. There was a parachute there. There was a big red lever that you pull and the parachute comes out and will bring the aircraft down. He said he has over 1,200 flights on this thing, and nothing has gone awry at any point in his experience with this aircraft. So the people who use and have these, which are only a handful of people in the country, by the way, this isn't like hundreds of people have these, but very few people have them. But the people who do double down on their safety and effectiveness, saying that this could one day be something that we're all using to get around.
I think this is so fascinating because I have to break the traditional mindset I have. First of all, you don't have to buy tires for this thing.
That's
You said 1,200 flights. I'm thinking like 1,200 miles on that thing. Like,
Right.
You have to think differently because it's not going to be the same maintenance schedule as a car. And I can honestly believe there's probably only like 2 mechanics and it's this thing right now. So again, we're waiting for the industry to catch up. But I'm excited because the future is now.
It was really cool to see something like this yesterday. Because you hear about flying cars and it's something that you see Back to the Future, the Jetsons, and to see it something similar in real life was, everyone has the same reactions. They look up, they take their phones out, they want to capture all the images of it, and everyone wants to sit in it too. I think it just was really a collective experience yesterday among this group of people watching this and kind of just taking it all in, that the future is here.
Was there enough space for you to run to Wegmans or to Food Lion to grab your groceries?
This was up in Northampton County. It's a very rural area. So there probably was something, within the range of the aircraft, but nothing right across the street or anything.
So no room for the luggage in there. It's just you and the...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a single-seater. It's a very light aircraft, but it's a single-seater, and the specs on it kind of make it so that you can't take a lot of stuff in it. So it's just for, your quick trips, things like that. But yeah, again, they're hoping the technology will catch up to the consumer needs for all of this. So you can't be packing your family of 6 in there quite yet.
Call me when they get the Tahoe.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The SUV version.
So, all right. So thank you so much for this. And Flynn, let's get into a little bit. Flynn, where are you from? How long have you been a journalist? And what gets you up in the morning when doing this thing? Introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, so I am originally from the D.C. area. I first started working in news professionally in the Savannah, Georgia market. I was there for about 3 years, covering pretty much everything that happened there, and then came here to Raleigh after that. What I really love about the industry and this job is just that every day is different, and that people really rely on us, for big local events. You think weather, massive things that could just really impact their day. this is an area and place that they come to for information that can help them work through some of those things. So I think being a part of that and being able to tell people stories is a real privilege and responsibility.
You're killing it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you having you. And again, like, subscribe, and we're going to tag his video from yesterday so you guys want more details and information about that and everything. So also, if you have a flying car and we do not know, feel free to call the station and we will come see you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.